Episode 2. Ancient Environment, a Greenhouse World. Imagine a world veiled in a thick, persistent mist, a sky obscured behind a shimmering curtain of humidity. The sun, diffused and softened, casts a gentle glow through the haze, creating an ethereal light that bathes the landscape in an otherworldly green. Towering ferns, their fronds unfurling like giant hands, stretch skyward with an ambition unseen in modern forests. Colossal plants, some bearing leaves the size of small boats, form an endless canopy, their shadows creating patches of cool refuge on the warm, damp ground. The air is thick, heavy with moisture, warm and still, almost breathless. Every inhale fills the lungs with the scent of rich earth, moss, and the faint sweetness of blooming primordial flowers. In this ancient world, life thrived on an unprecedented scale. Not only creatures of enormous size roamed the land, but entire ecosystems, vast, lush, and vibrant, flourished in an environment unlike anything we experience today. This was a realm where the natural order felt magnified, amplified, giants in every sense. Yet this world, hidden from our modern eyes, is whispered about in ancient texts and hinted at by the fossil record. It beckons us to wonder, what was the earth like before the Great Flood reshaped its face? Welcome to Faith and Facts, the series where biblical text meets geological and climatic science to explore the mysteries of our ancient past. Together, we journey through scripture, archaeology, and scientific discovery to uncover truths often overlooked, bridging faith and reason with curiosity and respect. The mist-based hydrological cycle, a world without rain. Genesis chapter 2 verses 5 and 6 offers a fascinating glimpse into the pre-flood world, describing an earth watered by a mist rising from the ground. This brief but profound detail invites us to rethink the hydrological cycle that sustains life. Instead of violent, storm-driven rains falling from the sky, Genesis suggests a gentler, more mysterious source of moisture, a steady mist or vapor nurturing the earth below. Imagine this: instead of thunderous storms or drenching showers, the land is enveloped in a soft, persistent fog that rises like a breath from the soil itself. This mist would cling to the leaves of towering plants, drip slowly into the rich soil, and sustain life with a delicate but constant supply of water. The atmosphere would feel saturated, yet calm, wrapped in a protective, moist embrace. Some climatologists propose that early Earth might have been enveloped in a greenhouse effect. Unlike anything we see today, a thick, warm atmosphere saturated with water vapor acting like a vast canopy. This vapor canopy could trap heat close to the surface, creating a stable environment where temperatures hovered in a narrow, life-friendly range, avoiding the extremes of cold nights and blistering days. From a geological perspective, this idea is fascinating. Today, water vapor is the most abundant greenhouse gas, and when present in large quantities, it can cause warming by trapping infrared radiation. A thick vapor canopy would create a planet where weather systems, as we know them, were almost non-existent. Instead of violent storms and floods, the atmosphere would hum with a gentle, steady moisture cycle. Could this environment explain the very good world described before the flood? A paradise thriving under a protective atmospheric blanket. While the concept is speculative, it aligns intriguingly with the biblical portrayal of a perfect creation maintained by a delicate balance. This invites us to reflect, what would life feel like under such a sky? How might this continuous mist affect the growth of plants, the behavior of animals, or even the very air we breathe? Under such a greenhouse environment, plant life would not only survive, but thrive on an epic scale. Paleontologists have uncovered fossilized forests from the Carboniferous and Permian periods, where giant ferns, towering club masses, and ancient conifers dominated the landscape. These plants grew to astonishing heights and sizes, some reaching tens of meters tall, forming dense, cathedral-like forests. The Carboniferous, often called the Coal Age, is known for its vast swampy forests where massive plants thrived in a warm, humid climate. The atmosphere then contained higher oxygen levels, up to 35% compared to today's 21%, which supported these giants and also contributed to the growth of enormous insects and amphibians. Though these periods predate the Genesis narrative chronologically, geological evidence shows that the Earth's climate has undergone dramatic shifts, with intervals of warmer temperatures and higher humidity, sometimes resembling what we might imagine for the pre-flood world. Could some of this lush, oversized vegetation have persisted into the antediluvian era? Could the garden described in Genesis have been a remnant of such a world? A sanctuary where giant plants created shelter and food for even larger creatures. It's a tantalizing possibility. Picture the canopy, layers of greenery stacked high, filtering sunlight into dappled pools of light on the forest floor. A thick carpet of mosses and ferns blankets the ground, each leaf a giant's umbrella. The air is perfumed with the scent of wet wood, fresh growth, and the faint, musky aroma of ancient decay, cycling nutrients back into the soil. This dense protective canopy could create a microclimate of extraordinary stability, preventing extremes in temperature and humidity. The environment would feel like a timeless sanctuary, shielded from harsh winds or scorching heat. Reflect on this. How does the idea of such a greenhouse Earth challenge our modern assumptions about pre-flood life? What new insights emerge when we imagine these vast ecosystems nurturing not just plants, but the creatures they supported? Pre-flood fauna and megafauna, giants among creatures. The fossil record tells a story of ancient giants roaming the earth across many epochs. Mammoths with tusks sweeping wide as a man's arm, giant ground sloths large enough to crush a car, saber-toothed cats with teeth like daggers. These were not anomalies, but part of diverse ecosystems shaped by climate and geography. Many such megafauna thrived after the flood, during the ice ages and later periods. But fossil evidence sometimes points to large or unusual skeletal remains in ancient strata that predate or coincide with biblical timelines. This brings us to a question often pondered. Could giants similar to the Nephilim mentioned in Genesis 6 have been part of these ecosystems? Though definitive proof remains elusive, a cautious exploration of archaeology and paleontology, combined with biblical clues, invites us to consider this possibility. Some ancient cultures recount stories of giant beings, their myths sometimes mirrored in gigantic footprints or bones uncovered by early explorers. Were these merely myths born from imagination, or echoes of real creatures whose bones became the stuff of legend? Scientific inquiry remains careful and restrained here. Skepticism is healthy, but so is open-mindedness to the evidence. The intersection of biblical history and fossil discoveries beckons further study and dialogue. Consider this question. How might understanding the pre-flood fauna reshape not only our scientific perspective, but also our spiritual and historical worldview? Archaeological, clues to an ancient ecosystem, traces in stone and soil. Archaeology offers tantalizing glimpses into this lost world. Ancient sediments reveal fossilized plants, pollen, and spores, microscopic remnants that paint a picture of the environment where early humanity may have walked. Geological strata often contain layers of coal, sediment, and fossils that correspond to times when the Earth was dramatically different, wetter, warmer, and more verdant. Beyond the soil, some ancient artifacts depict oversized animals or towering plants, perhaps reflecting memories passed down through generations. Cave paintings, carvings, and myths speak of giants, colossal beasts, and verdant lands, unlike those known today. Such cultural artifacts enrich our understanding, but must be interpreted with care. Science demands rigorous standards and verifiable evidence, guarding against sensationalism or misinterpretation. Faith and Facts remains committed to responsible inquiry, weighing evidence thoughtfully, respecting both scientific rigor and biblical integrity. Pause with me. What might these fragments of history teach us about the world before the flood? Could they be the keys to unlocking mysteries long buried beneath the earth? As we peel back the layers of time, the earth reveals its secrets in stone and soil, fossils and sediment. These silent witnesses await patient, careful study, whispering stories of a lost world beneath the mist. How will science and scripture continue to illuminate each other, revealing truths about the Earth's earliest chapters? Stay with us as we uncover the ancient environment, a greenhouse world shrouded in mist, rich with giants of every kind. Our journey now turns from the lush environment to the hard evidence beneath the Earth's surface, from towering plants and climate patterns to bones and stones. What archaeological and geological clues might point to the giants of legend? What discoveries lie buried, waiting to be unearthed? What secrets lie buried beneath the surface? Could the remains of giants still be waiting to be found, hidden in the Earth's ancient layers? The next chapter awaits. Keep exploring with faith and facts, where science meets scripture in every discovery, and every mystery draws us closer to the truth. Subscribe now and join us on this incredible journey through time.